Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at LR Paikuhan, the unpredictable powerful technique, and previewing just how good he is. It looks like they are shifting the LR characters, so some of the LRs, to being 200% leads, which is pretty interesting. Paikuhan is a 2-category lead, Otherworld Warriors or Saviors 200%, which I think is fine. Both categories needed a new lead. Paikuhan being that lead is more than okay. Saviors really all over the place, Otherworld Warriors all over the place. Having a new hopefully top tier LR could work pretty well for both those categories, and a 200% lead is much needed. Supreme Warrior, Experienced Fighter, Shocking Speed, Cold Judgment, Otherworld Warriors, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power is link set. Very Paikuhan related link set. Shocking Speed helps him a lot because obviously he needs it. Lots of Gojitas that exist on Otherworld Warriors and just Angel units who tend to lean towards Shocking Speed, so yeah. In terms of passive, Key +3, attack and defense of 250%, a high chance of evading the enemy's attack, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. When there's another Otherworld Warriors or Tournament Participants category ally attacking in the same turn, all allies get Key +3 and attack and defense of 40%. As the second attacker in a turn, Otherworld Warriors or Tournament Participants category allies get damage reduction rate of 10% for 2 turns. As the second or third attacker in the turn, he guards all attacks, high chance of performing critical hit, launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack, and chance of evading the enemy's attack 20%. So very interesting right off the bat. Clearly a support type character. This is not something strange. Support type character, Paikuhan, I think he's always been that way. Occasionally they've made him a damage dealer, but him being a support type character makes a lot of sense to me, personally, at least, in terms of functionality. All in all, I think in general he looks pretty decent. I want to say a couple things. So positionally, second slot obviously looks the best, and that gives you 40% support. Or the 40% support is unconditional, but that gives you a decent shout out in terms of the damage reduction, and then also the guarding all attacks, the high chance of critting, the additional super attack, and the extra 20% evasion chance. I think what's most interesting, if I can say, about him, is that it seems like, based on comparing his damage reduction to maybe like Goku's damage reduction, is his seems to be for 1 turn. So it seems like he only once gives the damage reduction as a second attacker in the turn, which is very interesting, I think, just overall. Other than that, 70% evasion chance essentially as the second attacker, which is very good. High chance of critting, built-in additionals, and decent stats should carry this guy as a solid 40% support. Then we take a look. He has his active skill, Get Serious. This can be activated starting from the 4th turn, and he quote-unquote gets serious. Otherworld Warriors, Saviors, Worthy Rivals, Battle with Storied Figures, and Tournament Participants are his categories. Super attack effect, he greatly raises attack and defense 1 turn, which is fine. And then in terms of his 18 key, he greatly raises attack and massively raises defense 1 turn, and greatly lowers attack, which is also great. Then we have Serious Paikuhan, after seriousness. I like that. A little bit different, and very different actually. Key +5, attack and defense 300%, guards all attacks, 70% evasion chance, 70% of critting, an additional 2 key per rainbow key sphere, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow. So immediately, very, very, very impressive. So guarding all attacks, 300% attack and defense, 70% evasion, 70% crit, 2 key per rainbow, and rainbow orb creation, really honestly generally quite good. Before receiving an attack, an additional 10%, pushing him to an 80% evasion bracket, key of 3, When attacking, attack and defense of 50%. When attacking with 12 or more ki, 70%. When attacking with 18 or more ki, 100%. When attacking with 24 or more ki, 150%, and attacks guaranteed to hit. And for every rainbow key sphere obtained, attack of 30% and chance of performing a critical hit. So a massive change in his functionality. He goes from being a unit that is designed to support to being essentially an outright damage dealer. An evasive tank combined with being essentially a massive damage dealing unit. All those attacks and defense are fully multiplicative. His crit is incredibly high. His attack goes up with each rainbow key sphere obtained. This is a guy whose role in life is damage, and I think that's very obvious. Very interesting and a nice change up for him. So as I mentioned, they tend to make him either a support or a damage dealer, so they decided that the LR should probably just be both. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn on the 12 key, massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn on the 18 key. So definitely an additional orientated unit in this transform state for me, but obviously outside of that, probably not a unit to really do too much with. I think additionals, and if you really want to evasion, obviously in evasion events he is going to not be a first star tank, but in events where evasion is allowed, he is going to be a pretty good first star tank. I think overall Paikuhan looks pretty cool. I think he's a very interestingly designed unit. The only shame I see is just this 1 turn, 2 turn damage reduction. I could be reading it wrong. I tried to check and see if Goku's reads like that, but it is very difficult to actually tell, like on some of the websites and that exist. But yeah, I think for me, that definitely reads like that. That it's only for the 1 turn only, but we'll have to see. But overall, a really cool looking unit. I think definitely very well needed. And we'll have to see how good he is. Let's take a look at some of his animations. And we'll see how it goes. So if we're talking about the animations, look, I think they're pretty cool. Obviously, they don't have a lot of source material, but the source material they're using is the other tournament. And that's when Paikuhan was introduced, and I think they've done it pretty well. They've got his fire attack, they've got his tornado, they've got all the signature moves that kind of make him, I guess, or are unique to him, I want to say, that kind of make you think Paikuhan. Aside from a little bit of rustiness, I think in terms of some of the animations, I think overall they're pretty good. And I'm excited for the unit. I think he's a unit that can be pretty exciting to me. He's something different. I think everything looks good. And I think he's going to help out his teams.